Hello viewers, today's topic is about a package management in Red Hat Enterprise Linux server. The command which I am going to show you in this tutorial is also can be run or also can be used in CENTOS because it is same. And the today's agenda is mostly about the RPM and yum command. So in RPM there are many flags which is available, and probably you have not used those flags, and there are few flags which can be used with RPM command, and that will be very useful in day-to-day activity. And there is also a yum utility which is default comes with Red Hat Enterprise Linux server, is mostly used nowadays. So first what I'm going to show you some RPM commands and their benefits. Okay, so you probably use RPM minus QA. Basically RPM command helps in querying. Most of the situation to query something, it will help you, right? So first command what I'm going to run is RPM minus QA, which is nothing but querying all, and it is just querying for all the installed packages currently in my system. So you can able to see the list of packages available in my system, and if you wanted to run minus WC to check the word count, how many RPMs are installed, you probably run this command and check, right? So this is basic. I believe you are aware of it and you probably have used this command. But how about you wanted to check a version for particular RPM which is installed in your system? An example, if I say vsftpd package, I wanted to check which is the version currently running. So for that you probably can run same command RPM minus QA or just query for vsftpd, and you would be able to see the information about your vsftpd RPM package. And the other information, you can also search this information which through a command called which. So now I just wanted to check the binaries. So which binary is associated with my this vsftpd RPM. So I just wanted to check that. So for that what I'm going to run, I will going to run which vsftpd, and I can able to see the binary provided by this package. And you probably also wondering what is where is command. So it gives similar kind of outputs. So if I just run where is vsftpd, it gives a little more information about my binary files and the configuration which is located and some manual gz file information. So today I'm not going to talk about which and where is command utilities features. So instead I'm going to talk about RPM. So now which are vsftpd, when I have run this command, it has given me a binary information. So let's just do an RPM minus Q, which is for query, and for F for file. So I wanted to check what are the related files provided by this binary. So let me just clear my screen. I think I have. Okay, so let me just copy like this, RPM minus QF, paste it here. So this is the other way of checking your RPM package. So now you probably wanted to see what are the packages, what are the files and folder associated with these packages. So for that what I'm going to do is I'm just run a command called RPM query L and provide the package name. So let me just copy it here, insert, and if I run this command I can able to see a bunch of directories, files information, also the binaries information, but this gives me a little long list information which I just wanted to avoid. So for that what we need to do is we just need to query and make a filter here. So I just wanted to query for the configuration file which provided by VSFTPD. So if I make a filter like this, I would be able to see what are the configuration file provided by VSFTPD. So why it is useful? Example, you wanted to configure a VSFTPD or a FTP server. So now we do not know what are the configuration file available or provides by VSFTPD. So now once you run this command, you will be able to see the related file, configuration file, and here is the main configuration file. Here where you are going to provide the user information or blocking the user information, and you can also set some parameter in PEM, right? So those are the configuration file associated with VSFTPD. So it is very useful. So now again, to configure that, you don't know how to proceed. You need some tutorial probably, or you need some installation guide. So how will you find that? So if you just do a QD, it will give you a documentation about the package. So now if you run this command, you can able to see the documentation provided by this package. So here you can able to see the configuration, how you are going to configure some information regarding a login. There is a text file. Regarding PEM, there is a documentation file, and there are many important documentation which is provided by this RPM. So this can be a very useful. So now you know why query C and query D command is important. Apart from that, I probably wanted to know when I have installed my VSFTPD. So probably there is an auditor in your office and they wanted to check when and who this package is installed. So you want to check that information. Probably for that, what you're going to need to run is just query, and you just have to say I, and you can specify the package name or probably a short name. That will also going to work. If you are in this command, I can able to see when is my RPM is installed, which is on this date and time, and here also you will have the source RPM information and whether it is authorized by Red Hat or signature is given by the Red Hat or not. So this is the signature is here, you can able to see, and there are other information about your version, release and architecture, etc. So this command is also very useful. So for query purpose, that is why I said that your RPM command will going to help you a lot. So now what are the next options which we can use? So probably what I wanted to check, I wanted to check a HTTP package which is for my Apache server, and there is a bug release for there is a bug which is released last year, and I wanted to check whether the RPM which I have installed in my system for HTTPD has this fix, has this bug fixed. So you wanted to check that. So how are you going to check that? So with RPM you would be able to check that information. So let me show you how you are going to check. So if I just check for the RPM HTTPD, and I see there are two packages which is installed. One is for tool and the other one is the main package for RPM. And now I wanted to see the bug information. For that, what I need to run is I just need to query, and I need to run command call. I need to specify a flag called changelog. So changelog is nothing but it will provide you all the information, all the changes happen in this RPM itself. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to run, I'm just going to say changelog and specify the RPM information here, and let's just do enter. And now you can see there are a bunch of changes on different dates. So now you can see this is a 2010 September, there is some update, and also there are many changes. So with regards to bug, probably you can able to see. So you are probably wondering about or looking for this bug which you have seen in the Red Hat site for HTTP, so for HTTP package. and now you wanted to check whether this bug is fixed or not in this package which you have installed. So now you can just grab it and specify the bug number, and you can able to see this bug is applied here. And so like that you can also able to see the vulnerabilities and whether this package which I have installed in my system has new vulnerabilities. For that I need to apply a fix, and the fix is something like, let me just do a change log again and do a more probably, and I wanted to check this vulnerability, whether this vulnerability is applied in my RPM or not. So this command is very useful in this scenario. So you would be able to see this vulnerability, whether it is fixed or it is available in this RPM or not. So this is how you would be able to see the change log for your RPM. There are many RPM flags which can be useful, and let me go here in my root directory and let me check some of the RPM which is available. So now I have a RPM which is ZSSH. Now I wanted to install this RPM, and for that what I'm going to do is RPM minus IVH and simply copy this file or RPM. So now this file probably have a lot of dependency. We never knew. Probably, just assume for this scenario this package has a lot of dependency. So now how will I test that before installing the system? So minus test allows you to tell whether this RPM will going to install, or it will throw an error saying no, you need some dependency. So if I run this command, here you would be able to see this is going fine and it is going to install. So that means this RPM doesn't need any dependency. So in some scenario test is also a very useful. Okay, so now next command about your RPM query is a command or a flex which we can use is nodefs. But I would not recommend you to use this nodef option. Why? Because what this nodefs will going to do, it will simply skip the dependency and it will going to falsely install this RPM when I run this command. Even though if this package requires some dependency, it will skip that and it will forcefully going to install. So for some scenario, you can, if you wanted to install the RPM, then you probably use this flag, but I would recommend you to not use this in the nodef information or nodefs flag, because maybe once you have installed this package, the command which going to associate for this ZSS will not probably work properly. So that is the reason I will not recommend you to use nodef option. Okay, so those are the most important things, and let me just do one thing. I have one text file which is called rpm gedit rpm yum. Let me just open this file in gedit and see whether there are some other options which is useful and can be used. I have a text file here just for a reference, and I have probably used all of them, so I don't think I have missed anything. So okay, so there is one more command which you can try is a script. Okay, so now what is script? So now if I just run vsftpd, just run vsftpd and run this command, I can see this package information. And now I wanted to see what script provide this package, because when this script is when this RPM is built, there must be a script which is written, and then it has change the format to RPM. So if you wanted to see that script, or if you wanted to verify whether the script which is provided by this RPM is correct or not, you probably can run this command, scripts. Right, so now you can able to see this is the scripts which provide by the package VSFTPT. So now you can also verify whether there is any syntax error or something which doesn't looks good, and you do not want it to go if this does not looks good for installation. So before installation of VSFTPT package or any package, we probably wanted to check the script whether it is looks good or not. If that looks good, then probably you can go ahead and install the package. So those are the important flags which I was supposed to show you regarding RPM, and I believe you already aware of it, and if you are not, then now you know how to use them. So apart from that, there is also a very useful and powerful utility which is called yum, and nowadays it is very popular and widely used. People are mostly using yum instead RPM. So now what RPM provides? So there are many useful command or flags you can use when you are using an RPM or using a yum. The first thing what I would like to show you is yum list. If I just do a yum list, you would be able to see the list of packages. It does the similar thing when I do a RPM QA, right? So you would be able to see the list of packages. Sorry, this is actually a listing the packages which is available in your repository, right? So these are the packages available, and now you wanted to see installed package in your system. How many packages are installed in my system? So these are the packages installed in your system. You can also pipe it and check the information, and also probably all the information about line files and everything. Okay, so these are the command. These two are the first command you're probably using in your day-to-day activity. So now what next? The next command is yum search. So yum search is also a very useful command through which you can able to find package information. So now I just wanted to see a package information about CManage, whether this CManage is available in my repository or not, but it is giving an error. Let me just check VSFTPT. VSFTPT is giving an information, but let me just check CENTOS, which is actually a SE Linux related command, and I'm not very much sure what is the reason behind this, and I'm unable to search here. Let me just do something because it is not behaving properly. So let me just reboot my system, and I'll just get back to you in a minute. I just rebooted my system, and system is back online, and let me just launch my terminal here and increase the font size a little. Okay, so we were talking about yum search CManage. So I was just looking for this package information. This time it is working. Probably there was some issue. My system was running for a long time, and I was testing many things. Probably due to that it was not showing earlier, and now anyway this looks good. And when I run this command, I can able to see the package provided by this command. So when I'm running this command, it is actually looking for this libraries and the binaries, but the problem is I do not see the binary file information here. So now what happened? The yum search command is not very useful because I do not see the binaries. So to overcome that, what I'm going to run is the command called what provides, and I will start with * command / and CManage. If I run this command, I will be able to see the information about my CManage command, and also the package or binary which is provided by this command. Okay, so now you have the package and you also have the information where the binary will going to install, and the other information, it is already installed, it seems, when I have installed my system earlier. And now this is also useful in many scenario. Why? Because so now example, you do not have this package installed, SE manage. Currently it is installed, that is why I can able to run this command, and it is giving me an error saying you need to use some flags. Anyways, but this RPM is already installed. So now if this RPM is not installed, I do not know what RPM is provide the information about CManage. Probably I would try like this, yum install CManage. And what it will going to do, it will just simply going to throw an error saying there is no package as such, and it will giving error like this, nothing to do. So in that scenario, this command is very useful, and you would be able to see what is the actual package provided by CManage. So now you know this package is, and now you simply need to do a yum install and the package name. And in my scenario, it is already installed, and it is saying it is already installed in the latest version. So yum provides command is very useful. Okay, so let's check for the other useful yum command. Let's open gedit again, and for my RPM file, sorry, I just wanted to put this in background so that I get a bash from here. Okay, so we just checked search, install, and listing the command, and also what provides. So let's see what are the other important yum command which can be useful. So now the other useful command probably you have already used, or you are probably aware of it, the -y flags. So when you are going to install any packages, like example, in my case I just wanted to install FTP. So when I run this command, it is going to default going to check for the dependency, whether this package require any dependency, and now there is no dependency, that is fine. But at the end it is asking me whether you wanted to install or not. So I need to specify a flag called yes or no. So if you do not want it to bring that question up here, then you probably say -y here, and what it will going to do, it will not going to ask you and going to default install the package. The same scenario for removing a package. So you also can do the same thing when you are removing a package. So yum remove ftp -y, and it will not going to ask you. So this is very important and very useful. So now I have a different command which I would like to tell you, and it is also very useful. So now the next command is yum local install. So what it will going to do, the local install means if any packages, if you wanted to install, example my scenario, the ZSS package which I wanted to install, and this package is not in the repository, it is not available in the repository, but still I wanted to use the command yum to check whether I have any dependency for this package. So in that case you probably going to use yum local install. So to double check or to show you that this package is not in my repository, so my repository under this location, and if I do an ls, you can able to see the ZSH package is not available here. Let me go back to my root directory here, and now I wanted to install this package. So let me just do a local install and provide the package name here, ZSH. So it is without, you can see this package is still not there in the repository, but it is installing, and you can see the repository, it is just going from slash, not from my repository. And it is also resolving for the dependency whether it requires any dependency or not. So you just simply say yes to start the installation. Great. So those are the useful commands. So what else we can use? The command which I have showed you, rpm-q change log, and check the log information about your package. You can also check that information running through repo query command. So I was just not supposed to show you this repo query command because I just supposed to show you only the command rpm and yum, but you can also use repo query command to find that information. So repo query is also a very important or useful command which can be help in many scenarios. Okay, so now what else? So now I wanted to check something. I wanted to remove a package called bash. Let me just do that. Or let me just do first thing is cat, and let me just see where it is located in here in binary directory, and I wanted to remove this yum remove cat. Okay, so for cat it is giving some issue. Let me just do for ls. Again it is giving for ls. Let me do for a bash. Let's check this. Okay, so anyway, when I run this yum remove bash command, I can able to see a whole bunch of dependency which is with bash command. So it is basically all the packages which is currently installed in your system, and it is checking which are the packages also going to uninstall when you are going to uninstall the bash package. And at the end, the key part what I am going to show you, and the intent to show you running this command is it will going to fail, and it will going to say that this package, the bash package, is not going to remove because it is protected by some other RPM which is required by your system, and that is why it will not going to uninstall. Right, so let's just wait for some time to give that error at the end of it. So now it is basically checking for all the dependency. So there is a whole bunch of dependency here. So it is basically for accidentally you have tried to remove some package, and once you have removed this, and after that your system is not coming up. To avoid that, yum command is very useful. So now you can see here at the end of this two line, there are two line which saying systemd is required by bash, and also yum is required by bash, and it is a protected RPM, so you cannot remove it. So even though I did run command yum remove, it would have given me option saying whether I'm going to uninstall this package or not, but instead of that it is simply skipping that and giving that error saying you cannot install this package. That means it is very useful in many scenarios. If someone, a junior system admin, if he tries to uninstall a package accidentally which is protected, it will definitely going to throw an error saying that you won't be able to uninstall the package. So yum is very useful in this scenario. So now instead of rpm-e, there is also a flag you can use in rpm command, and instead of using rpm-e to remove a file, I would recommend you to use always yum whenever you are removing a packages. So yum is very useful. And now the other useful command which I can show you is yum history. I have discussed a little about yum history in my videos when I have prepared the video for patching. Okay, so let me tell you in brief about yum history. Yum history is also a very useful command which can be used in many scenarios. So if I run an yum history, let me just maximize my screen here. Okay, so here you would be able to see there are list of history when I have installed my packages, how many packages I have installed on what date, and I have installed, erase, and other information. You would be able to see how many packages I have installed, remove, and other information by which user it is. Okay, so those are the information you would have it. So this help basically mostly when you are doing a rollback scenario. So now if you wanted to roll back some package after you install this package, it is giving an issue and you wanted to go back to the previous action or previous scenario, right? So now in that case, what you wanted to do, you just need to run yum history, undo, specify the ID here. So this is the ID and you have to specify which ID you are going to do. So now you probably just need to run this command and it will uninstall the package which it was installed earlier and it will back into earlier state. So yum history is also a very useful command. So now you do not know which package. So currently for this one I have installed 5 packages and I wanted to check how many what are the packages installed in this action. So for that you probably can run a command called yum history, just in probably a list which will give a brief information about your command which was run, and it says that I have ran a command yum install httpd and there are 5 packages installed. So now you wanted to check what are the 5 packages are installed, a brief information or detailed information about those 5 packages. So this info command will give you those information about the packages which is installed. So now you can able to see those are the 5 packages which is installed. So first one, this one, there are other 4 dependency packages. So that is why yum is very useful. So that's it for this video, guys. I was supposed to show you only about the RPM and yum utility and their flags, which is very useful in many scenarios when you will be going to work in your real-time IT environment. So those commands are very useful. So let me know if you have, if I miss something, just let me know. I will also learn from you, and also let me know the content which I have showed you, if you like this content or not. If you feel this content or whatever I have showed you, the RPM and yum related command is useful or it helps you, then please subscribe my channel. It would be motivate me only to comes with more videos like this, and also hit like button in the YouTube. Okay, so that's it, guys, for this video, and I will going to see you next time. Have a good day.